All right, guys, we're live. Just give me a moment. All right, so let me share the link. GMGM, guys. Hope everyone had a fantastic weekend.
GM guys.
Let me briefly share the link. All right, I think I just shared that. Yeah, you were just discussing something briefly about the Cardano CEO, founder of Cardano.
Yeah, he was just basically was not happy about the I think the clarity bill, So everybody is expressing their opinion about
Yeah.
this bill. So it's when the Coinbase CEO came out to say he does not support the bill, also based on it basically gives bankers or banks leverage, right? You cannot say you are against stablecoin yield. Why should you be against stablecoin yield, right? If putting your money in banks also gives you like yield. Okay, so there are like a couple of things he complained about that particular bill. So I think it's the same thing that what's his name, Charles, that the founder of Cardano, is also against. So people are just saying, oh, it's better to collaborate rather than to, fight each other and all that stuff. But basically, if you even look at the market now, we also the current dump that we experienced. All these things is, I feel probably it's political. That's what I feel. This market crashed like
Okay.
this. I think it's a bit political. Okay, so but then I'm not really surprised because like my outlook, which I've been reiterating over and over again, is I'll get excited when we start seeing October, November, maybe October or even September prices for altcoins. When we start seeing those, that's when I'll get excited, like really excited, because we're about to experience the actual pump. But till then, we just have to be trading with a lot of caution, basically. So yeah, that's it from me.
All right, that's cool. So before we jump to look at charts, let's briefly look at the markets basically. So this is a weekly outlook of the market. You can see clearly that most alts are in red. Most altcoins are like huge red. But Dash is still holding its green like really strong, like very, very. There's one major thing you'll notice here, privacy coins. Dash is privacy, Decreed is privacy, Monero is privacy. That is Viva, that's not really privacy, and Quant, so it's not really privacy. ICP is not also privacy, but if you have to just observe the two projects that are the biggest gainers within the last 1 week are both privacy coins. Dash and Decreed, both privacy. Monero has corrected a lot, but still, it's still up in profit if you got in by this time last week. But every other category is down, like every other, it's actually down. Now let's look at the daily charts. Well, if we should zoom out to the monthly, you find out that River is the biggest gainer from this time last month till date. If you guys recall, we started talking about River when it was around, I think, 2 point something dollar or thereabouts. And we started trading it around $3, 3 point something. Yeah, so River has performed like so well. Like it has done a 10x literally. It has done a 10x from last month, December to January. From barely $3, it has gone to as high as 40 something dollars. It has done over 10x in this crazy market. That's a thing to really applaud. And it's still holding its value, still up above $20, which is a very good thing. Yeah, so down to the daily market outlook. If you notice, most odds are down. Huge opportunity. For those that joined our clubhouse yesterday, we hold our clubhouse every Sunday, and we share the link on our Telegram, which the link is actually on the screen, link to our Telegram. So we hold it every Sunday by 4 p.m. So if you joined our clubhouse yesterday, I said something which I urged people to observe it, pay attention to it. So what I was saying on that clubhouse was Bitcoin majorly and the markets generally majorly makes a move midnight. That's Asian session, midnight, from like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night. It's either you see a green or a red. Like this is something that has been going on for years. So I said it yesterday evening that people should pay attention. I said I had not looked at my chart yet to know which direction will be going, if it's a pump or a dump. But what I do know is that whichever direction it is, you'll see it play out by midnight. Which midnight we saw BTC start nose diving from 95K. I think started from a few minutes past 12 or thereabouts. Started going down. It started going down, and immediately Asian session opened. It went all the way down to as low as I think 92,000. We'll look at the charts briefly. But if you observe something, Dash is still holding because it's obviously above support. That's why. Decreed the same thing, and also because privacy coins are trending. Now, we've been saying this since last year. 2026 is going to be a year for privacy coins. We expect privacy coins to perform really well because traditional finance, they love privacy. And now that crypto is going mainstream, expect privacy to get like some good traction. Now, if you notice, one of the projects we've been talking about since November, October, November, when we were talking about privacy coins a lot, Dusk. Dusk. So we got into Dusk around 20, 21 million market cap, and the actual price in dollar was, I think 4 cents or 4.2 cents, something like that. But today, Dusk is almost at 30 cents. So that's like a huge return. And it actually ranged between 4 cents and 10 cents for roughly a month and almost 2 months before breaking out. And we spotted the breakout on our TG when it broke out. We actually did spot it. And we actually called it, which it has progressed to still do an over 150% from breakout. So this was actually a very, very good call, like really good call, Dusk. Yeah, so let's briefly look at the charts. Let's just briefly go to the charts to see what BTC is doing and what to expect. Yep, so here's the chart. Here's the chart from where we stopped last week. This trade wasn't shared. Actually, this wasn't shared. So this trade actually hits break even. This BTC trade hits break even over the weekend. But so if you notice something, Bitcoin have been testing the support for a while. And if you guys recall, I had spoken about this gap we had here last week, that is a chance would come fill it. that there's a chance we'll come fill it. Now, based on we could not go above this level since Thursday, Bitcoin has been unable to go above this level since Thursday. This level basically. We've been unable to create another high, and we've been able to break out of the lower structure. Nothing was clear, truthfully. Nothing was clear. Even up till yesterday, nothing was actually clear. Yeah, on a lower time frame, we could see BTC printing lower lows. You get on a lower time frame, you could see this channel here, no doubt. But still, nothing was actually clear. It could have gone either direction. It could have gone to the upside, it could have gone to the downside. But yeah, one thing was very obvious. We had huge imbalance here or fair value gap here that needed to be filled. And BTC just decided to come all the way down to fill. And now I don't see anything stopping us from going up again. Sincerely, I don't see any other thing we're going to feel again before we start going up. I sincerely don't. So if we should zoom out just to see where this week's candle started from, just to zoom out a little. So if you notice, this week's candle opened where last week's candle closed. Same place it opened, and it first of all had to come down. So I'm expecting it to start going up afterwards. Personally, I'm not expecting us to go lower. I'm not. We have filled up the entire imbalance there caused by Tuesday, that huge pump. We have filled everything. So what I expect right now from BTC is for us to start moving up again. That's my bias. That's what I'm expecting. Anything that makes us go lower than 89K, whatever makes us go lower than 89K, that would be very bad for BTC, sincerely. That would be really, really bad for BTC if we go below 89K. They can as well just say we would most likely would not hit 100K this January again if we go below 89K, and would most likely not see that 105K even by February, probably. So we need to ensure we don't go below 89K. But right now, this correction is just one of those healthy corrections that just tends to happen in the market, which is why, if you guys noticed, we ensured not to like take trades even on Friday. And just one trade that was shared, right? One thing was made very clear. Once it starts moving towards a direction, put move your SL to break even. Very, very important. We made that very, very clear. And for people that were still holding certain trades, we still said the similar thing. So that's why it's important you take part in most of these things we're doing real time. Like you jump on these trades. That is the best way you can learn when you jump on most of these trades. It's literally like the best way to learn, because then you see profits, and you see profits that you did not take. This was a scalp, early morning scalp. You see profits that you did not take, and you see losses too that you made based on lack of discipline. It's very, very important. It can't be overemphasized enough. So what am I expecting right now from this BTC chart? If I'm to look for a quick trade right now, this is what I'll be expecting for Bitcoin. Expecting it to just correct a bit down to this level. So we long it. So this is actually a BTC trade that I'm sharing. So you can keep your eyes out for this trade. So I'm expecting a BTC to correct down to this level, 92,600, 92,600. Then your stop loss at 92,270. Gets correct down to this level, then we long it back to this zone. So personally for BTC, this is what I'm actually looking at. That's the trade idea that I'll be expecting for BTC. The next is Ethereum. Where's Ethereum? Here's Ethereum. Now it's quite risky trying to trade any alts when the market is like this. Reason is just by BTC returning back to this level, it can force most alts to go down even lower. So it's not really advisable to start saying I want to jump into some altcoins trade unless very strong alts. Unless that, but outside that is not really advisable. Looking for Ethereum, okay. Besides that, it's not really advisable to try and do any of that. So if you notice, we also saw like a huge dump from Ethereum. Ethereum was as high as 3-4 last week, and by midnight we were at around 3,360. And Ethereum dropped to about 3,170, which is not bad. For like Ethereum, I would have preferred it to come down even more to like this level. But Ethereum is very strong. I would have preferred it to come as low as this level to find like a good long position. But yeah, it hasn't, because this is the zone where we want to be taking our orders for Ethereum. This is the zone we're actually interested in for Ethereum. So if it can come all the way down to this level, then that would give us like a good entry opportunity. It can come all the way down to this level, that will give us a good entry opportunity. If Ethereum can give us this, that would be good. If you notice, it's been a while we traded Ethereum. So Ethereum can actually give us this, which is why it's not good to force trades most times. Just wait for the market to do its thing. If there's no opportunity, let it slide. So if ETH can come all the way down to this zone to be a good trade for us, then we can target like a long to exit around this zone. For Dusk has been moving very, very well. Dusk price action has been amazing. The next we look at is BNB. We need to look at only strong pairs. Dusk movement has been really, really good. Immediately it broke out. This was the major breakout we actually were looking for though. Because this was the level we saw November, the highest we saw November. This was the highest level we saw November. Whereas the lowest level we saw October was around 30, but we got in higher than this price though. We got in higher than this. But yeah, this was the highest level, so we needed to break above that level. So immediately we went above that, you can see Dusk has been on an amazing price discovery. It's doing something similar to what Dash, did. So right now it's facing resistance. If you notice, right now Dusk is facing resistance at this point. That's where it's facing resistance now. So you can expect sell-off around this level. You should see lots of sell-offs around this level and lots of profit taking. Hopefully it goes above this level, then we can now start targeting 50 cents and maybe 60 cents. So we told you guys that Dusk all-time high is about $1, and it's really, really undervalued. So if you got in, as I told you, we're recommending it, you should be up minimum. The lowest profit you should be on Dusk, lowest is 500% profit. Lowest, like the very lowest you should be on. Then if maybe you got in last year October and you took out your capital when it did 2x, if you accumulated more, you should be up even much more. But let's say you didn't accumulate more, just took out your capital and you left the rest. If you check the profit, you'll be on still on average of 400%. Aside your capital, you should still be on about 400% profit despite taking out your capital. So this was actually a very good trade. Some of the trades we're looking at that haven't moved. CHR hasn't moved. This and that coin that we've been holding for a while. It has not moved. So just in case you want to take note, it hasn't moved. Cake if you guys noticed, I spoke about cake, I think Friday or so. And I think yesterday I said something about it yesterday. Very strong project, rarely dumps, like very, 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 very rarely dumps. So if you're looking at or you're looking for one of those projects that you accumulate long term and you just see 20, 30, 40, 50%, that's most, maybe 100% returns. Cake is your guy. If I want to pay attention to cake, cake is quite good for that. So next, let's briefly look at the BNB. Let's just look at the BNB chart before we switch to some other things. There may be some questions. For this on the monthly, change this to daily. Okay, so if you notice, BNB did similar thing. The correction it did. So this was something we were waiting for, I think last week, but it didn't happen for BNB. We're waiting for it to come here before it continues, but it didn't happen. However, BNB dropped all the way down and filled the gap on the daily chart, and it tapped a major liquidity level on the daily charts, and after which you could see like a clean bounce, tapped the liquidity, and we are seeing a very clean bounce there. If you go to 4 hours, you can see it clearly where it's dropped to, and it filled up all of the fair value gap to create a very balanced chart. So for BNB, I'll just observe to see how the chart plays out before doing anything else. It's very important for BNB. Just pay attention and observe what's happening before you take any other decision. So for this, I'm not doing anything yet. I'm just observing. All right. So for Apex, Apex faced another resistance again. If you guys recall, I said it, the Apex had recovered and it was at resistance level. Hopefully, it's giving time to go above that. If it is, then we can now see the rally. But if BTC misbehaves, then it will come down, and which BTC did, and it actually drops down. It dumped. You can see like a huge dump from it from Sunday evening, dumped all the way to a new all-time low. All right, so let's basically, please feel free to drop questions. Feel free to drop questions. We've dropped outlook on BTC. We have dropped a trade on BTC. For those just joining, we shared the BTC trade. We shared what we're expecting from Ethereum. We shared what we're expecting from the Ethereum, and we didn't share anything for BNB. Just to open this BTC trade we shared for those persons that might be joining just now. So here's a BTC trade we shared. We're expecting BTC to come all the way down and tap our entry before we continue moving up. That's what we're expecting from BTC. All right, so Space, now what do you think so far? What do you think is happening in the market? Someone is asking TP for BTC. Okay, well, I'll get to that. What do you think is happening in the markets, basically?
Well, like I said earlier, the market is probably responding to some political instabilities and political stuff. Because I think we've seen recently that the US will be imposing some sanctions, tariff on the European Union, right? That the likes of Denmark, UK, etc. 10%, that would increase to 25%, right? Which is as regards to the whole outright purchase of Greenland and all that stuff. So these things, they affect the market, whether it's instant or it's over time, right? Now, like I also said, the market does not look too exciting. Yes, we're in the new year. Yes, there are some news coming in. There is interest from institutions, retail is coming in. Yes, but the market does not look too exciting for us, at least for us that has been here since since last year, right? So you knew where the prices of things were last year, and you now know where the prices came from. Okay. So if for me,
Yes.
if I start seeing the prices of alts, because alts for me, alts like is a large indicator of things, right? Because most of our monies are on alts. Alts is where we get those massive gains. If we start seeing September prices for alts, which as a result of these DOMs and the rest, it will take quite a lot, right? Some of the alts will do 5x, some will do 3x, some will even do 10x for it to get to those September prices. And we are talking about maybe 3, 4 months ago, right? By the time we get to prices from last quarter, you get that is when the play has begun, because most persons bought into those prices last quarter because those prices for those tokens were undervalued. Okay, so if the current prices goes back to those prices, that is when most of those people that are trapped would start even trying to maybe take some profit or get excited that the market is back online. So till we get there, I don't really see much happening in the market. Yes, we could see Bitcoin get to maybe 100K. Maybe we could still see a little bit of maybe high cap alt action, just a little bit, maybe 30% move or all that kind of stuff. But the mid cap and the low cap has to pump crazy. Maybe, just maybe, that would usher in the actual alt season. Because to be honest, if we start seeing alt do like 10x, 15x, like this is like, let's say, 60% or 50% of the alts starts doing 5x, 10x, it's going to have like a cascading effect, because people are now going to now start rotating monies and all that. So it might even bring about the alt season, to be honest. You get, so by the time we start seeing that, that is when I myself will get excited. That is when we might start seeing uh, sustained trends, because currently there is no trend. We just see random tokens just pump. We don't even know why they are pumping, because to be honest, today, even on your screen, I can see it. I saw Mind Network pump. I was like, what's causing Mind Network to pump? Because I know I had some of that, the Mind token, um, when they launched, because I did one of those their airdrop thing, because I know I got those tokens. So I'm like, what's making this token pump after this very long time? Because the people didn't really get good amount of the token. You get, so
Yeah.
it's quite interesting, because now there's no core trend in the market. Even there is no meme trend in the market. We are still trying to see people push some meme narratives, but it's not solid. There's no meme trend. There is no real world assets trend. There is no utility trend. All we just have is a market where any random token can just pump, right? You could come up tomorrow and see a particular DEX is pumping, maybe has done 50%, right? But then when you still check the price, you still find out that the price is down, but then it has done 50%. For example, Chain Opera can do 200% now, and you go and still check the token, it's still very much down, but it did 200%, right? Same thing can go for like a token like Gaia. Gaia can do 2x or even 50%, right? And you still check the price is still down, but it did 50%. So imagine one morning you come up, you open up CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, and you see everywhere
Yeah.
is green. Everywhere is green. But if you start checking the individual charts, you still find out that we are still very much down, but everywhere is really green. But there's this thing that psychologically, there's this thing that the green candles or green numbers gives you. So when you come up, like Docs is green, my network is green, Surge is green, it gives you this happy feeling that things are about to start happening. You get, maybe up until you start checking the chart and you find out that, oh, maybe there's still much more pump that has to go into this thing for you to maybe break even or all that good stuff. So for me, I feel we need to have those September and early October prices back. Till
Yeah.
then, would we now have this euphoric feeling of we are back in the game. And this might not have much to do with the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin could still be in the 90s when this thing starts happening, or Bitcoin could probably go way above 100K when this thing starts happening. But we just need it to start happening.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. Like the contribution I have to make is the the narrative that people should lean towards is OG projects, because we have some OG projects that have been dumping for a very long time since 2021, and they've been building. They are active. They have been building, and the community is still there. Maybe the community is no longer that active, but the project itself is now extremely undervalued. I feel if people lean towards those projects that have something of value that they're offering and they've been building, those projects present the best opportunity. Because like Dusk is an example of one of those projects. I'm sure my screen is visible. Yeah, Dusk is like an example. That was why we picked Dusk. It's been around for a very long time, and it had dumped like crazy. It was over 500 or over 400 million in FDV, almost a billion, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But it was over 500 million in FDV 2021, and lo and behold, you can see it here. It was about $1 then. Lo and behold, this is like the all-time high of that year, by the way. Lo and behold, a few months ago, it was down to almost 2.5 cents, 3 cents. And they were still actively building. Like they were actively building, pushing updates and all of those things, getting ready for launch and all. So it just made sense that in a matter of maybe few months or thereabouts, you'll start seeing the effects of what they are doing. And the whole privacy hype now give them that traction, put them on the spotlight. Gradually now they are moving. And once projects start moving, people start seeing it more, people start doing research and people start buying. Some OG holders might even start adding more based on conviction and all of those kind of things. But while that is happening, you don't need to get lost in the whole process. You need to take out capital, take some profits, because anything is still possible. You just have to do, even if nothing is possible, even if it keep going up, it's a business. You need to treat it like so. Take out some profits, especially if you've been holding for a very long time. You take out some profit. So if you also notice Secret is also there, but I don't have exposure to Secret. Even Oasis. If you notice Secret also benefited from this whole hype from privacy coins. Oasis also has a touch of privacy to it, that has rules. And these are like OG projects that have been around for a very, very, very long time. They've been around for a very long time. I don't know of Surge. I've never checked Surge. I've been seeing it, but I've just not checked it. Similar thing too. It's Dash. It's a similar thing too. It's Dash. So my own advice is, while you're loading up this project, while you're paying attention, also ensure you have your mind focused on OG projects. Axie Infinity that did about 100%. It's an old project that they've still been building. I don't have exposure again. I did 2021, but not anymore. But yeah, they moved. I don't know what made it move. I've stopped paying attention or investing in any project that has to do with gaming, because 99.9% of them end up crashing. And it's very difficult to see the tokens to like some reasonable price action movement. It's very, very difficult. It's not common. Like it's very difficult. Yeah, so guys, pay attention to OG projects, whatever you're doing. There are still some very good ones out there. Just pay attention to them and ensure the market cap is very, very low before you jump in. Quick one, let's just look at Ion, which was a project. I don't know what they've been up to for a while now. Iron Fish, also under privacy coin we spoke about October last year. So if you notice, Ion has not moved an inch. It hasn't. Instead, it has dropped. It was usually around that in 20 M FD, so it has dropped by almost 50%. So Ion has dropped, I've not checked their socials recently to see what's happening. Now, if you also notice iron, although I never saw it at this $17, this looks outrageous. But I know I did see iron around $3, $4 back then, like $3, $4, maybe 2 years ago, thereabouts, around $3, $4. So iron was also another one that we picked based on how much it had dumped. One, two, they were still actively building. Three, Coinbase, I think it's Coinbase buy them. I think Coinbase bought them, something like that, and the CEO announced it himself. Four, they are helping Coinbase have privacy transactions on Base Network, and they're also doing similar on Solana, no Sui. They're also doing similar on Sui, bringing privacy to Sui ecosystem. Let me see if I can open their X account. Bringing privacy to Sui ecosystem, but they haven't gained traction yet. They haven't. Maybe the tech is not 100% ready. I was waiting for when they'll make an announcement based on Sui, but they haven't done that yet. So let me share their X page. So if you see their X page, let's see when their last tweet was on X. Let me see. So you can see where they made a tweet last year, March, teaming with Base to scale privacy for Base ecosystem. You get the CEO of Base also announced it, of Coinbase. He also announced that. Now you can see their last tweet, which was based on Sui. They're also bringing privacy transactions to Sui. Now, watch the moves that these guys are making. Like if you literally watch the moves that these guys are making, this is what makes us buy from this project so that you can see it yourself. Watch the moves that these guys are making. Mind you, we started getting in around 20 something million FDV. Right now it's at 10 million. So from where we started buying, it has gone down almost 50% or 55% by the way. So they've partnered with Base. They are working with Base. CEO has confirmed it. They have also done the same thing to with Sui. So they are working with, they are a blockchain too, but they also work with other blockchains to make this thing possible. We don't know how long this will take. We don't know if this will be completed in a month or 2 or 3. We do not know. We do not know. But one thing is certain, whenever they complete all of this, the token is going to really pump. Whenever they do that for Sui, this is what they're planning to do on Sui. Whenever they complete that on Sui, they complete it on Base because they're not also done on Base. And maybe they now start doing similar on other chains, maybe Arbitrum or any other chain. Whenever that starts happening, one thing is expected, it will pump. This is the tweet from the CEO of Base, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase, by the way. So you can see here, see Base is building private transactions. We acquired the Ironfish team back in March to start working on this. More to share soon. Now, since then, no update has been made. These guys, most likely, they are still working on this. So what do you think happens when they now start pushing the updates? When maybe Sui drops a tweet, we now have privacy transactions enabled, or we are now testing privacy transaction. Kudos to Ironfish, or Base drops that tweet. Once you see stuffs like that, then you will just wake up one morning and see Ion token do over 200, 300, 400%. And if you're waiting that it's until you see that before you buy, the only issue there is you wouldn't buy it at that very cheap price. You might be buying it at 200, 300% up. So which is why we always advise when you start seeing these things, start doing DC. You don't buy everything at once, because if you bought everything at once, October, right now, if you bought it $1,000, that $1,000 might be around $450 or $400 right now. That 1,000 might not be that bad though, but it should be around that price because now it's at 14 million FD. No, now it's at 10 million. Sorry, just to confirm. Yeah, now it's at 10 million. Yeah, it will be around that price. Then it was 20 something. So your 1K dollars might be roughly $400 or thereabout. Or if you're doing DCA at this price, you buy again with another 300 or 400, assuming it's 1K you used before, or you buy again with another 1K. It all depends on you. It all depends. But my point is, these are like the things that tend to make most of these projects start appreciating in price. Is the value they bring to their partners or the users or the overall ecosystem. And if Ironfish brings huge value, and right now as we're speaking, it's at 10M, then it simply means that it can easily run up to like 100M because right now it's at 10M. So it means that this project can still run all the way up to 100M, which is not something that's impossible. It's just barely $1.4. And if you also check the exchanges it's listed on, it's on Gates, it's on MXC, it's on CoinStore, it's on CoinX. Most likely by then, more exchanges will start listing it. So I would urge everyone, keep it in your radar. It's something we are actually positioned in. Don't lose track of what's happening with the project. Just stay focused. And also bear in mind that sometimes these things can take quite long. Yet sometimes these stuffs can take quite long. It might take 2, 3 months. You never can tell. So whatever funds you're using to accumulate shouldn't be emergency funds that you need within a month or within 2 weeks. Yeah. So I think okay, over to questions. I think I've answered the what's the TP for BTC trade. I think I've already answered that. I've already answered that. Um, the other question someone is asking about. Let me open the coin. He's asking about the Asta trade. Let me let me open it briefly, please. So here's the other question. This is the last question we're taking for today. I know we're out of the Asta trade, by the way. I'm just trying to see if I can open it. I know we're actually out of it. Just searching. I think we're out of that Asta trade. Just to open it. Yeah. Please let me know if you can see my screen because I think I'm out of that tab. Please let me know. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, because I'm on the charts now. We're out of that Asta trade. I think this is the Asta trade that he's referring to, if I'm not mistaken. This is it. So we're out of that Asta trade at break even, exited at break even. So if you notice the same thing, look at this Asta trade. Imagine you never moved your SL to break even once it started moving, like because we got in on Friday and it started moving. So imagine when it started, you never moved your SL to break even and you left it the same. So right now you would have hit stop loss. And what caused it is the BTC dump. This is the BTC dump that happened this morning. That's what sent this all the way down. It's the BTC dump. So the BTC dump sent the trade all the way down to stop loss. That's the power that BTC has on the market. No altcoin can dodge it except like maybe BNB, Ethereum, some very, very solid altcoins. Like very, very solid altcoins. They are only the ones that can be able to not have this drastic effect where Asta goes very low to almost create a new all-time low. That's what Asta did, created a new all-time low, almost. I think so. Because if you see, it went below, it created a new all-time low, yeah. This was a box we drew since last year for Asta, where it came into the box. It went even outside that box to about 53. Now imagine if you never had a stop loss, you were in this trade, or you did not even have a stop loss. One, you didn't move your SL to break even. Two, imagine you did not have a stop loss. You believed it so much and you were just long. Your account will be liquidated. Because see how low this stuff went. Your account will definitely be liquidated. There's no two ways about it. You will lose your account. All the funds there will be wiped off. Even if you had so much money there, there's a high chance to be liquidated because this thing went very, very low. It was brutal. Like very, 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 very low. You can imagine the SL is at 6.4. The entry is at 7.1. The SL is at 6.4, 6.45 or 6.46, and it went all the way down to 5.3. Very brutal. So that's why having SL is very important. That's why moving SL to break even once the chart starts moving, it's going towards your direction. Because here, if you notice here, as it started moving, it had gone above this level. You should have started considering adjusting your SL already. Adjust it at least to this zone, minimum to this zone. Take it back to break even. So whatever happens, as at Sunday evening, it will have taken you out already. Sunday evening, when BTC was trying to misbehave, it will have taken you out of the trade already. Yeah, so the Asta trade, that's the trade that is already off. It's off the chart. This is actually a new position that I got in early this morning based on Asta, but this is low risk, very, very low risk. So if you're jumping in, be aware it's very, very low risk. Now, why I said it's very low risk is because if BT does just a minor move towards the downside, this might go to SL. Just a very minor move. So that's why it's low risk. So this is just for scalping. It's just a scalp trade. All right, guys. So I think that's all we'll be taking for today. That's literally all. So keep your eyes on the BTC trade. Giggle also dropped aggressively. I'm not touching Giggle. I'm literally not touching Giggle because, like I said, you don't want to touch some altcoins when BTC is misbehaving like this or when it is highly volatile. You don't want to. All right. So someone is asking me BTC long. We've already shared the BTC trade, so you can just take it back a bit. It's showing on the screen here. We've shared our expectation. Yeah, so Space now, any other thing? Because we're literally done.
No, nothing else. Nothing else for me for today.
All right, guys. So see you guys same time tomorrow. And ensure to join on time and bring your questions. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.